Good morning. Today we are going to study a little bit more about Harriet Tubman and do some activities. So I wanted to read to you a little bit more information, and then we're going to look at the map that you see here. So Harriet Tubman was born a slave in Bucktown, Maryland around 1821. Because she was a slave, she was not allowed to go to school. Harriet had to work hard from the time she was very young. Harriet was a small person, but was unusually strong and worked hard. In 1849, Harriet's master died, and she learned that she and her family were to be sold to plantation owners farther south. She knew the conditions were even worse for the slaves farther south and did not want to go. Harriet and her brothers decided to escape. They left their home in eastern Maryland in the middle of the night. Her brothers soon turned back, but Harriet kept going. She headed north alone. With the North Star as her guide and assistance from the Underground Railroad, she finally reached Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She worked as a laundress, a cook, and a seamstress. She wanted to save money to help her family. Harriet was free in Philadelphia, but her friends and family were still in Maryland. She called herself a stranger in a strange land and wrote it in her autobiography. To this solemn resolution I came. I was free, and they should be free also. I would make a home for them in the North, and the Lord helping me, I would bring them all there. She did just what she set out to do, believing that freedom lay in the North. Over the next 12 years, Harriet returned to the South 19 times. She is responsible for smuggling over 300 people to freedom, including her elderly parents. The Fugitive Slave Law of 1850 made it unsafe for runaway slaves to stay anywhere in the United States. It was against the law for a citizen to help a runaway slave reach freedom. Slave owners could hire a bounty hunter to find the escaped slave and return him or her to the plantation. The fugitive slaves hid by day and traveled by night, often helped along the way by agents on the Underground Railroad. This railroad was neither underground nor a railroad. The Underground Railroad was a group of people who worked to help slaves escape to freedom in the North. People who were against slavery hid fleeing slaves in their homes. They helped them get to the next safe place in spite of the dangers to themselves. Harriet, a conductor for the Underground Railroad, never lost a passenger. Luckily, she was never captured herself, despite there being a $40,000 reward for her return. During the Civil War, Harriet served as a spy, a nurse, a cook, and a scout for the Union Army. She was able to move among the slaves behind the Confederate lines and gather useful information for the North. She encouraged slaves to join the Union forces. She viewed her work as another way in which to fight against slavery. After the war, Harriet Tubman continued to work to improve the lives of former slaves. On her own land, she opened a home for poor and elderly African Americans. She also worked with the women's movement and with the temperance movement. She died on March 10, 1913. She received full military honors at her funeral. In 1978, a Harriet Tubman stamp was issued in her honor. So I just wanted you to look at this map because I wanted you to see this is Bucktown, Maryland, and this is Philadelphia. Okay, so if you were to walk by foot, that's how they had to get there, it would take you almost 2 whole days if you went straight from one place to the other. Now remember, they were trying to hide and they were moving by night, so it took them probably a couple of weeks to get from here to here. And I also wanted you to see, so here's Maryland, and Maryland kind of does like this. Over here, this is Delaware, and this is the Pennsylvania line. Let's see. Here's the Pennsylvania line. So, and it kind of goes right there. So from here to here, they had to, this is New Jersey over here. So they had to kind of go up into Philadelphia just a little bit because the line went like that. And Philadelphia is right on the edge of New Jersey and Philadelphia. So it was a long walk, and it probably took them a couple of weeks to get there because, like I said, they had to stay during the daylight time. They had to stay hidden, and they could only move when it was nighttime. So anyway, you're going to do a map today that looks like this, and you're going to be asked, now we're coloring the map, but since you can't color the map, there's a rectangle, so you're going to put a rectangle on Pennsylvania on the regional map and the United States map. You're going to put a triangle on Maryland, and this is Maryland. Goes like that, and then over here, that's where Delaware is. So it goes like this, and it's really small down here, but you're going to put a triangle on both. And then you're going to draw a line, and I started a line. You'll just have to move it. You're going to draw a line from Bucktown, Maryland, up to Philadelphia. So if your line's straight, it'll probably go over this way a little bit, but that's fine. Just so that you know, this is where she traveled from, Bucktown, Maryland, to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And there's a couple other things that you're going to do, but they're pretty self-explanatory. And we're also going to do a timeline, and we're going to do a little puzzle where you're going to use a grid, and you're going to move the pieces to the correct coordinates on the grid. So you're going to have your ABCs and 1, 2, 3, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're going to move like A1 will go in the very top first spot because you're going to be at A and at 1. So I gave you a smaller one so that I could fit it all on one page. So you're just going to move the pictures. There's, I think, 25 squares, and you move them to the correct coordinate. So I hope you enjoy our activities today, and I will see you tomorrow. We're going to learn about Abraham Lincoln tomorrow. Goodbye.